Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the April 29th Raw review at Columbus, Ohio. Ow, something's hurting my leg, sorry. I have to say that this Raw was actually pretty good. I am upset that the WWE didn't spend more than a week in Europe. That's just how I feel about it. But let's get into all these matches. I have to say that I was actually quite surprised about the opening of the show. It was arranged by Teddy Long, which still promotes what's going to happen on SmackDown this coming week with Booker T. They're still having their conflict, so we got Zed, Ricardo, and Bigger Langston for a triple threat stipulation match, which basically leads to what the stipulation will lead into Extreme Rules for the triple threat there. It was funny. Ricardo Rodriguez and Biggie Langston was the one who did all the work there. Biggie Langston was primarily the one who really carried the match. Even though he threw Ricardo all over the place, Ricardo did his work. He was the one who had to take the most abuse. And I know many people are going to say that was Ricardo. No, Biggie had to take the most abuse because he had to deal with both these guys and had to have a certain attitude for both of them. And in the beginning of it, he licking his lips like, I'm going to be eating this chicken right here. I'm going to rip through him. It was funny. Seeing Zed do whatever he did, faking a leg injury and hitting Biggie on the head and messing with Ricardo where he was the one who had the job for Ricardo was alright. I didn't expect Ricardo not to win. I really felt that ADR was the one who was going to get the stipulation, and he did. So I really felt this was actually quite good. Now going into the next match, which will be Antonio Vazzalo against ADR. Now, before I talk about the match, ADR did announce that he wanted a ladder match, a triple threat ladder match. Now, all these guys have gone through the Money in the Bank, so this isn't something unusual for any one of them. It's just now it's going to be 3 instead of 5 or 8 of them. So the match itself was really very good. I wish Antonio would stop doing the yodeling because they said he did this before the match started, and now he's wearing a beret. What the fuck? This is not part of his character. I don't know why they're letting him do this or why they're making him do this. I wish they would stop. But the match was actually very good. I liked the match a lot. And this is what I'm thinking for an Antonio Vazzalo. This is a good exposure for him in the World Championship. But the best title right now for him to get is the IC Championship. Let him go after Wade. You could actually do a program with Wade with him. They look like they would have good chemistry. And you know what? I know people probably say, no, that's silly. Turn Wade face, period. Well, how can I say this? Right now, Wade is not getting over. He's not getting over as a heel. So turn him face. He's no different than Sheamus when he had his bit with the Celtic Warrior. He could still do his Barrett Barrage. The Barrett Barrage. You can see me coming down with my bull hammer elbow in your face. Fine, he could do that. Let him become a face short term, just to see if it will work. Who says he can't do it? If it's just for this program, let Antonio be the more worst heel and then make him look a little bit face to see if he could get over, and then if it does work, make him full face. Make him a betweener. It'll be something interesting. ADR wins by the cross arm breaker. I'm alright with it. Now, the next match I want to get over with, which I really don't understand why in the hell didn't they let this guy do it alone. And that's Dolph versus Kofi Kingston. And I just found out that Kofi just had a kid. Congrats, Kofi. I'm glad for you. Knowing the way you've been working for years, always in mid-card hell, 90% of the time on the road, it's surprising you're able to go home and do something interesting with your wife. So, congrats, man. I don't understand why Wade needed... Not Wade, I don't believe I just said Wade. I'm sorry. I don't know why Dolph needed to have help. He didn't need AJ. He didn't even need Biggie to help him up. Why couldn't he have beaten Kofi without help? He has faced Kofi for years, and he's been able to beat him. So why now? It would be nice to see Kofi lose to someone like a Dolph Ziggler clean. He doesn't need help. Biggie slams Kofi a couple of times, Hopefully his son or daughter, when they grow up, don't see that and say, Dad, did you get hurt? He'll say, no, I was fine. But you know what I mean. So let's move on to that. I'm going to talk about, why not? Zack Ryder versus the Trucker. Short match. Zack pisses off the Trucker and Zed because he showed what happened to him. It was a short match, which was necessary. I have to say, with the Trucker, Jack really isn't a strong heel anymore. They let him job too much. They went all this time with Zed, not Zack, sorry, there's a lot of Z's. When Zed was putting over Jack. And now, they dropped him. If he does win the championship, doesn't feel like much. Doesn't. It really feels empty. It really is going to feel like an empty win for him. I don't expect him to win anyway. But because of what happened about him doing weed in his car, I think he would have been champion already. So, excuse me. So, I just don't see anything for him. So, let's move on to the Shield segment in the ring. I really felt the Shield segment was really good, and it put over two people more than anything. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Yes, Dean Ambrose sounds always the best out of all three of them. But the two I'm talking about are the two that look like maybe going for the tag titles. Because after 3MB, and it was surprising seeing 3MB. Because I'm surprised the WWE would actually follow a storyline. 3MB gets their ass kicked by the Shield. They get it kicked again. Hell No comes in and they run off. So, seeing that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were presented here during this segment and the match between Hell No with John Cena, because John Cena and basically Ryback were going to have the match, but we find out that John Cena hurt his Achilles tendon while on the European tour with Ryback. Really? Fine with it. Ryback leaves the building and simply John Cena is the one that's going to fight with Hell No. I'll explain about the reason Hell No is put in the match in a minute. But you know what? The ones I really saw that was most over here, that was most presented, was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins gets the win over John Cena because he can't a Seth Rollins because of his patellar tendon. Fine with it. At the end, you see Ryback dressed in his regular clothes watching the match and seeing John Cena in the ring holding his patellar tendon. Patellar tendon, not patellar. Patellar tendon. I was alright with the ending of the show in that respect. Now, the reason that Ryback was like that was because Ryback was not willing to wrestle. Not if he's got to go by himself, because he felt that John Cena was hurt. It actually makes sense to do this because you don't want these two together too much. Because they've done this a whole bunch of times with John Cena and it got repetitious and it never works. People just don't believe it. And I wish to say that Maddox was presented twice in this show. The Maddox still rules Raw. I'm saying it. Vicky, now with her hair slightly blonded, looks a little cute. But she is not the one that runs the place. You know who is the one that's wearing the britches in the family. You know who is telling Vicky, go in the corner, bend over and let me do what I want because this is my Raw. I don't mean to sound so nasty, ladies and gentlemen. Any ladies that are watching this, please don't get mad. I'm not saying it, but that's just metaphorically. Maddox is the one, even though he acts innocent, is the one that's running Raw. So let's move on. Fandango versus Great Khali in a dance-off. I admit I started laughing at this. I did not expect this to be like this. But you know what? They need to get Fandango over because he's a dancer. But I still have a gripe. And I really wish to say this below. I wish people would say this below. Summer Rae. I don't have a problem with her. She probably is a very good talent. But she's not a dancer. She's beautiful. A beautiful blonde with some slender long legs. Which look great for dancing. But she's not a dancer. She doesn't have the dance ability. Unless she hasn't been fully... Maybe she has some dance ability. But she just doesn't present it to me. I just don't feel it from her. The lady that was there before her, you could see she was an actual dancer. You can feel that even though Fandango can't dance for shit, she was able to compensate for that. Even though he's over, he still needs a real dancer. So seeing a Summer Rae in her place, it's nice to see even a more better looking woman. And the woman that was there was good looking as hell. Summer Rae's even better looking. But she's not a better dancer. I wish they had not changed her out. Maybe because the WWE thought, well, you know what? This is an actual dancer. But you know what? We have someone who's not doing anything. And she has some dancing ability. She's been trained somewhat in dance. Why don't we use her? Stupid! Use someone you know will get this guy over instead of trying to cut costs. Seriously, it's stupid. And even if it wasn't cutting costs, you still need someone who's proper in dance. So we saw Khali and Fandango. I just didn't feel it was very good with Fandango with Summer. The dance part didn't work. For me personally. Khali wins, but still Khali lost because he got one, as I call it, the Big Dipper. When you see both of them go back and whack, he hits the floor. And then you can see how well the man dances, the man prances like a nature boy, Buddy Rogers. Gets onto that ring, up on the third turnbuckle, and flies down with the flamingo leg drop on top of Khali's head, baby. That was a good ending for him, which was very good. It wasn't a totally bad segment. Yes, the dance bit was annoying for some people. I understand, but it was still needed because he is a dancing character. So going into dancing, we got the Mark Henry match. It's a... I was surprised about this. Tug-of-war match. I like this. Doing something with strength for Mark Henry is always better than just throwing him in the ring and just smashing somebody. Seeing a tug-of-war match with a Mark Henry, I enjoyed it. Seeing him going against the Tensai, not calling him Sweet Tea. He's not Sweet Tea to me. He is Lo Tensai. At least he's being pushed. He lost to a Mark Henry. No match. Mark Henry get a Brodus Clay and he says to him, you going out like your buddy right there. And he said, not today, baby. And he lost as well. But the thing that gets me that I'm not very happy about is Sheamus coming to the ring and trying tug-of-war. And it wasn't the fact that he let go of the rope. Mark Henry still wins the match of the tug-of-war. But then when he gets bro kicked, I felt was wrong. I know some people are going to say, dude, he needs to do it because he needs to be a better, stronger face. I could say that if they usually do that, where the heel is always over the face. They don't do this in WWE. Usually the face is over the heel. So what's going to happen now? Mark Henry is going to consistently get bettered by a Sheamus from now on. Mark Henry is doing great. He was besting a Sheamus. That's what we need. If people don't understand, you need the bad guys to get over on the good guys more. If you don't, it gets boring. This is like for kids, where always the good guys win and the bad guys always lose. They finally started letting a bad guy and a Mark Henry become dominant. Having Sheamus win maybe once, get over on him once, maybe twice, fine. But then 3 times? No. And I believe in the next SmackDown or the next Raw before Extreme Rules, you're going to see Sheamus get more over on him and more over on him. And then a Mark Henry becomes irrelevant. And I want Mark Henry to become relevant because I want to see 2 things. I want to see, 1, a good match at Extreme Rules. I want to see a good match between these guys. And I need a Mark Henry to be dominant. But if he's not, it's going to be boring. And then 2, I want Mark Henry to win that match and then go into 2013, eventually become the... Woo! I want to see him become world champion. And when Mark Henry becomes world champion, the ratings go up in SmackDown. I'm going to say it that way. Now, I'm going to a Randy Orton and a Cody Rhodes, which is the other side. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. I don't understand why there was never a feud between them that was done properly. They could have had a very good program, but they didn't. Cody Rhodes. Oh my goodness, I think I said Mark Henry. I'm so sorry. Cody Rhodes and Orton was a good match. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the best matches next to ADR and Antonio. Rhodes losing twice, jobbing to the RKO at first, and then jobbing again to an RKO after a interview from Matt Striker for a Randy Orton. I really feel sorry for Cody. He deserves better. And I'm sorry I said a Mark Henry. If I did, I'm sorry. As I say, I still get a little nervous with this, so I rush. It sucks, but I still do this. Alright, next, let's get to Naomi, and let's get the Brie Bella ready. Naomi and Brie Bella. Now, I had one subscriber, I can't remember his name. He probably will see this, and he'll say, dude, you still don't get it. The Bellas are better than Naomi and Cameron. I got this from one of my subscribers. Whoever is seeing this, if the guy leaves a message below, which I'll be glad if he does, he said it clearly that they're better than anybody. They're much better. Really. Having to constantly keep using twin magic to win a match is not better. You can see the difference between a Naomi and a Brie or Nikki Bella. You can see the difference for the simple fact they're fresh and new. And Brie and Nikki Bella are much older. You could see the excitement from a Cameron or Naomi, even though they don't even hardly wrestle compared to a Nikki and Brie Bella who does wrestle. You can just feel the energy. It's not about the in-ring work, my friend. It's about the presenting of it. You can see it. You can just feel it. And it's not because I'm a Naomi fan. I am one. But I can see the difference between the pushing of a Nikki or Brie compared to a Naomi, because what happened? They did twin magic, but they didn't win because the ref turned the decision to a Naomi. Now, this is still going to promote a feud between these four women, and this is not bad. I don't mind seeing a tag team feud between divas. It's something we don't see ever. When was the last time you saw a tag team actually go up against each other that were divas? You don't. It's very rare, almost zero. So seeing this is alright. But I can honestly see that it's possible that Naomi's being pushed very subtly. She's going to fall back. She's going to go forward. And they're going to see if people are going to get more interest. She will be seen more. So I think I'm almost at the end. Let me see here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I think I finished everything. I believe I did. How do I feel about this show? B. It was a good B show. I'm actually quite surprised a lot of things were done in the show. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, Make-A-Wish. I knew there was something I forgot. The Make-A-Wish segment, I can say, you may not like John Cena. You may say he does a lot of politics in the back and he's getting a lot of favors because Vince does not want to take a chance that he makes a big star and then he loses another one again. But I can say that John Cena does care. And he does care about Make-A-Wish. That is one of the charities and organizations he cares about the most. So he has done it the most. And seeing these three little kids here, and I know one of them said Logan Sparks. Another one said the Eliminator. I can't remember the third one, I'm sorry. But seeing this with these three kids and showing the video segment before that was actually very nice. They expected these kids to be in the audience. They've done that before. But letting these three particular kids get up on the ramp and be seen by everyone and cheered by everyone, I felt was a really good thing. Yeah, it's for PR. You could say what you want. This has got to be for PR. They're trying to get the WWE seen by a lot of people, and this is a very good PR gimmick. And it is. But this is three kids who got cancer that could still die. And seeing they got their wish wasn't a bad thing. So like I said, this is a B show. I'm very glad about it. I enjoyed the Columbus, Ohio crowd. They weren't so bad. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you leave me some comments to tell me how I'm doing with this new, trying to make my videos shorter, particularly that it hurts a lot when I finish a 30-minute video. It really makes my leg very bad. And like I said, I have a very bad leg. So I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think about this show and have a good day.